The next module on which I would be talking would be, are you compatible? I've seen that many aspirants, many candidates who reach out to me, they have this doubt that, ma'am, I hail from engineering background, I hail from medicine, I hail from humanities, sciences. So I really don't know if I'm cut out for the services, I'm cut out for this examination per se. For this module, I think that the best quotation that I can think of was, what is now once proved was only imagined. So I would just say that whether you'll be great in the job or you'll be just average, let the time decide. So now you can just only imagine things, imagine yourself being in the services, imagine what your life can be. So I think with that gut feeling, with that intuition, you should progress. I would like to cite the certain aspects, the certain statistics that is released by the 68th annual UPSC report. So mind you, my friends, this is the actual government report, and let's see the kind of candidates who are applying and the kind of candidates who are recommended and the success rate and the various backgrounds from which they hail, so that after knowing this fact for sure, you will not let any insecurity come between you and your final goal. I hope I'm clear with that. I just want to say that you should be nothing but confident, you should be nothing but hardworking, and then let the time decide, let your efforts decide that how would you carve your way. So let's see, first of all, about bachelor degree. So if you are a bachelor degree holder, you can see the success rate is around 40%. And for higher degrees, if you have a master degree, again you can see that it is the same rate, more or less. Now if you hail from humanities, you can see that out of 204 interviewed candidates, 87 were finally recommended, 77, so 37% for humanities, sciences 39, medicine 42, and engineering 40. So you can see that there is no major stark difference if you hail from any of the backgrounds. Same applies for higher degrees, 41 for humanities, 40 for science, 55 for medicine, and 42 for engineering. So my dear friends, I think this very table, this very fact from the 68th annual UPSC report clearly puts forward this notion that it doesn't really matter of whatsoever background you are, you have the equal success rate. You can see it is the actual statistics put forward by the UPSC itself. I think this particular table, this particular data for me itself is an eye-opener, because when I began my preparation, I was also in this conundrum of whether I'm good enough or not. I have a background in engineering, I don't really know about geography or history or politics, constitution, international affairs. But then I somehow studied hard and then I got through the examination. So the only thing that you should keep in mind would be that you have to be very consistent and hardworking and nothing else, because this particular data has made it very clear. The next thing that I would say, that you have to get in touch with your 4 Ps to really get to know your compatibility with the examination and with the civil services also, that passion, personality, preferences, and principles. Speaking for myself, I would say that I was always passionate about learning. I have always been a very curious child ever since the beginning. So when my mother introduced me to this world of civil service examination, my dear friends, it came very naturally to me. So I was not pushed into this examination. I thoroughly liked and enjoyed the journey, and it came very natural to me, and it was part of my personality. Then I would say that I really want to lead or command, and I want to make a great team and work in tandem. So you can see that my 4 Ps were also aligned to this world of preparation and then the actual career in civil services. And I think the most important thing for you would be to learn more about the work you are considering, with an emphasis on day-to-day experience of doing the job. For example, if you are interested in becoming an engineer, the ultimate impact might be the skyscraper you designed, but the day-to-day experience is slow-paced, detailed work in front of a computer screen. So, my dear friends, one important thing that I would like to tell all of you would be that the real work, the real day to day work, is not very, I would say, fancy or very action, full of action. No. In day to day, even if you are posted as a police officer, as an SDM, as an Indian Foreign Service officer, your day to day job would be like that. And same holds true for the preparation also. Because you just see the success stories, you see people who have made through it. But if you ask about my daily routine, I would say that it was the most boring routine that you can ever imagine of. Because you get up, you start the morning routine of reading newspapers, completing your books, taking tests, so things like that. So I think you should be more interested about the nitty gritties of the preparation, so that you will not be easily demotivated. The only reason that I am confessing all of these details with you is that you should not be demotivated after some time. In fact, I personally think that 99% of the aspirants gave up after 3 or 4 months because they find it very boring and routine. So, my dear friends, it applies for everyone, for all the tedious preparations. Okay, so you will always keep that in mind and prepare. And I would also say that you should try to find these kind of qualities in you. And if you have them, and if they are somehow muted, so we'll try to hone them, you will try to work on them. For example, the first quality that I would put would be leadership, because you will be actually leading the forces, be it the police, be it the audit department, be it the postal department. So you will be the leader. So you should have great leadership skills. Then you should be involved in administration, so governance and administrative qualities. You should be decisive because you have to take a lot of decisions on a day-to-day basis. Knowledgeable and informed, because it is said that the best decision makers are always informed. Because when you have all the inputs, then only you can make the rightful decision. Another major thing that is hardworking and committed, I think it applies to not just uh, to civil servants but also to all the professions in the world. If you want to excel in that, if you want to do great work, if you want to do remarkable work, I think you should be very hardworking and committed. And then yes, ethics, I think this is of paramount importance to a civil servant, because you will be involved in discharging of huge funds. So you should know, you should put your heart and soul and you should put your compassion that where those funds should be diverted, and they should reach to the intended beneficiary. So that is how you should make a choice. Another thing would be good communication skills. For good communication skills, you should know that you will be interacting with a lot of people, not just the general populace, but also fellow officers, fellow service mates, fellow um, representatives, political representatives. So your day-to-day interaction would be with a number of people. So if you're a good communicator, you're able to put forward your agenda, if you put forward your thoughts and ideas, I think that would be a great thing. And then yes, out of the box thinking, as we say, and this is more required than ever, so that you may stop finding excuse under restrictions, fund restrictions, I would say, rate typism, I would say. So if you're an out of box thinker, if you're a creative person, you would definitely find 100 ways of getting a thing done. And if you are that kind of person who can resonate with the aforementioned qualities, I think you should definitely give it a go. And for CSE, I think the four major qualities and virtues that I can particularly point out would be patience, discipline, diligence, and consistency. And if you have paid attention, you can see that I have not put intelligence. Why? Because I very strongly believe that hard work beats talent if talent does not work hard. So, my dear friends, this exam is not a test of intelligence. You can be a very average person as in the academic performance. You can even score a 50% or 60% in your school days or college days. But if you're a hardworking person, diligent worker, committed, consistent, and most than ever, if you are patient to sit back in your room and prepare yourself for another 2 or 3 years, I think you should definitely crack this examination with flying colors. And with that, I hope I have helped you, uh, understanding that what are the qualities that you may need to get compatible with the job, with the world of civil services preparation. And also, I have tried to break the myth of certain degrees or certain backgrounds do well in civil service examination, others do not. All the very best.